Hi everybody, the sun's shining, I'm feeling extra motivated today, so what better opportunity than to spend a little time on showing you how to do flat iron curls. Today I am using my titanium Amika 1-inch flat iron. I do have the setting on a 400 for my hair type. Depending on if you have fine, medium, coarse hair, that is going to determine what type of heat setting you use. I, again, have super thick, coarse hair, so I do use a 400, which is a higher setting. To turn on the flat iron, there are 3 little switches inside. This top of the triangle is the power button. You just hold it down, and then you will see the light illuminate with the setting for the temperature. There's also a plus and minus on here. To adjust, you just hit the plus or the minus, and then it automatically sets, and you'll watch the dial go to your temperature. Mine's green, so it's ready to go. And here we are. So to start off with my flat iron curls, and you will see I am going to use some dry shampoo afterwards. If you do need to style your hair, I recommend using a dry shampoo after you have done your curls. If you need no thermal styler or anything like that, you can just go straight to the dry shampoo as well. So to start off with my curls, I'm going to take out this little nifty bun I've got going on here. Take out my ponytail. Shake this out here. And I'm going to give a good brush. Favorite brush, a wet brush. I am using the limited edition Princess series from Disney. And what better princess than Belle? So you can see, to not be too rough on my hair, I do hold it so that way I'm not tugging at my scalp. Super good tip for those of you who have super sensitive scalps. Definitely don't have to go crazy and torture yourself. So again, lift up, start with your ends, brush out those tangles, and then you can work out your way up the top. Great thing with the wet brush, the bristles are super flexible, so it's not gonna get stuck and drag and I guess be painful at all. So brush out, I'm gonna switch to the other side. Okay, now that I am nice and brushed out here, do all of this. I, like everything else, like to start with my sectioning. So I have my hair parted in my 2 sections, right down the middle. First section I am gonna start with is down below. Use just a nice jaw clamp to clip that out of the way. I do have a thicker section here, so I am going to separate that into 2 sections. For this one, I am going to use a straight end. So to start, I take my flat iron, and just the last couple of inches, I flat iron so that they're nice and straight and smooth. From here, the first 2 inches, I like to smooth with my flat iron. So give those a nice quick little clamp. From here, I reach over for on the left-hand side. From here, I clamp my flat iron those 2 inches down, give it 1 twist, again away from the face, and I drag that down until I get to the last 2 inches of my hair. After that, let go, and there's your first curl. Second section here, same thing. I'm gonna flat iron those couple of inches down below, if I can grab all the hair, and then the top 2 inches, and then go on and clamp and twist away from your face. Notice that in the flat iron, there is no crease, so it's nice and smooth as I drag it down, meaning you're not gonna end up with that cramp in your hair. Last 2 inches, go on and drop that hair out, and there you are. From here, I move to my second section. Clamp that out of the way. And I'm going to make this into a few sections as well. Go on and straighten those bottom 2 inches. And it's just a rough straighten. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Do the top 2 inches. And then I'm going to separate this into 2 sections here. So again, start a few inches down from your base. Give it a twist away from your face. So you have 1 twist, drag that flat iron down. You do not have to keep twisting the flat iron. If you keep twisting, you're gonna end up getting nice and tight around that flat iron and not able to drag that down. And again, do these top 2 inches, give it a twist away from the face, and drag that flat iron down until the bottom 2 inches. And drop that out. And again up here. Now, I do like to do my flat iron ends as I go. Some people do it in the very beginning. So it's, again, personal preference. There is no right or wrong way to how you do this. So you can do all of your flat ironing in the beginning to straighten out your ends, or you could do it as you go with the sections. So flat iron, top 2, go in and give it a twist, and drag that down. Now, if you have super straight hair, you may not have to do the 2 inches at the top or the 2 inches at the bottom. I did previously have some curl going on to my hair from the curling iron that I had used the other day. So I do want to flat iron that out. Otherwise, if your ends and your top are already straight, you do not have to worry about straightening those out. So you can just continue on and start with your curl. Just make sure you start 2 inches from your base and then leave those 2 inches at the bottom. Now, again, with having my coarse curly hair, I always end up with some curls around my face, my hairline. So I get nice and close, make sure you get all those creases out, or the curls out, so it's nice and smooth. Do my 2 inches at the bottom. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. And then give that a twist away from your face. And drop that out. Now, I'm getting close to my other section. Depending on, again, how much hair you have, you may not need to do this in 2 sections. I am going to. And then we'll get to the top here in just a second and show you how to finish styling that out. A tip that I like to tell all of my clients who are trying to master the flat iron curl, you can always practice the technique with your flat iron off. I actually really recommend doing this if you have 0 prior experience with a flat iron. It just saves your hair from a lot of heat. I don't know if you've seen those videos where girls truly fry off their hair and it falls off. It does happen. So why not master the technique with 0 damage before you give it a shot? And now that I've gotten to the top section, again, everything goes away from your face. I'm gonna grab this section here. If you do get to where you need to brush again, all you have to do, grab your wet brush, give that a nice smooth. Again, here's my ends and my top. Twist that away from the face and drag that down. For those of you who have a bang, you are going to separate your bang out. This will be your last, that's your final step. That's kind of the setting piece that makes sure everything is nice and in place here. So my last section, I'm going to go on and give this a curl. And then head to my bangs. So from here, depending on bang length, some people have some really pretty framing going on around their face that they keep really long. You may be able to still get the typical curl that we just did in there. I do have some shorter bangs here going on. So I am going to separate that, even though it is a smaller section, into 2 sections. I did go on and flat iron my ends. I'm going to go on and touch the top 2 inches. From here, you do not have to necessarily curl the entire strand, depending on styling. So from here, I really just give it 1 twist, drag another inch, and then drop that out. Reason being, I do not want to end up looking like super prom-y, extra curled. I like more of a messy, loose curl. So again, I just do my bottom 2 inches on my ends, top two, give it a twist, drag it just about an inch and drop that down. So you can see I don't really have a full curl pattern going on. This does look a little funky, so I am gonna go on and just give that just a touch more of a curl and let that go. So there's that. Again, I don't like to touch anything until it has cooled off completely, so that way you're not curling or pulling your curl out. So from here, I'm gonna go on and show you from the bottom and start again. Now, the only thing that is gonna be different, switching to your opposite side, is the position that you hold your flat iron. So, same technique. Again, your flat iron is always gonna point up on this side. So this is my right side, so my flat iron points up. So top two, bottom two, give that a curl, and now you're changing the curl again to away from your face. And you can see I'm kind of fishing my hair through, and that's again to make sure that you're not pulling too much. So over on this side, flat iron is gonna go away from your face, so I point my flat iron up. On the left-hand side, I do cross over, clamp, and twist away from my face. So you can see how my wrist works. On the right-hand side, I point my flat iron up, twist, and go away from your face, so you should feel that pull in your wrist. And on the opposite side, on my left-hand side, I clamp, pull away from the face. So I'm gonna carry on, and I'm gonna finish on my right-hand side, and then we'll be back to finish styling. All right, and so now that I am on this final section here, after our second child, ended up getting this really cool curl right here in the front of my head. So I do always have to give that a little extra attention. So I pull nice and tight, make sure I have that straight tension, and then I carry on to my final curl. Now, if for some reason you end up with too tight of a curl, which I think this one, I'm gonna think is just a touch too tight here, if I can grab it. All you have to do not clamp your flat iron completely closed, but you're just gonna barely glide that flat iron down, and that will loosen it without having to redo your curl. So now that I'm finished with my curl, I use my nifty hands, start at the bottom, and just kind of finger through that hair, fluff it up to separate all of the curls. And then you can go on and brush through with your fingers. And there you have it, just a messy beach wave curl.